In May of 2017, Dawn and Sarah decided that she wanted to start an online Toastmasters club where advanced Toastmasters could go and grow together as maverick leaders. Today, Dawn will be sharing the current status of our club, followed by a question and answer session. The time is 4 to 6 minutes for the presentation, 8 to 10 minutes for the question period. Dawn, take it on.
Thank you, Rick, and fellow Toastmasters. The first demo meeting for Advanced Toastmasters online took place on November 29th, 2017. During that demo meeting, I shared my vision and personal reasons for wanting to join or wanting to start and charter this Advanced Toastmasters Club. Today, I called this press conference to address where we are at the 9th month mark, what has been done to date to help our club charter, and I'll address some challenges that we face moving forward as a club. As far as membership, currently at this time, we have 10 paid members. Those members are the following: Andrea Sanger in Arizona, Angela Peterson in Nebraska, Doug Thiessen in Ohio, Dawn Nocera in Ohio, Francisco Palacio in, I think he's actually in Indiana, Jim Adams, Kentucky, Lori Whitmore is in Boston, Patricia is in Ireland, Richard Weiner is also Massachusetts, and Tammy is actually in Nebraska, and Angela is actually in Dayton. So in order for our club to charter as an advanced club, we must have 20 members who are dual members, meaning that they are members of another Toastmasters club at the time they submit their application to join our club. We have one person who wants to join after we charter because will only be a member of this one club, and that's Sandy Yeager. I submitted our application to organize a Toastmasters club to Toastmasters International on July 16th, 2018. On that application, Tricia Grow and Pamela Landers were submitted as our club sponsors. Andrea Sanger and myself, Dawn Nocera, were submitted as club mentors. So we'll be continuing for the next 6 months. On July 18th, we received confirmation that our application was received, and we were assigned a club number of 0704-9935. I'm still awaiting for an official notice that our application to organize was processed. Some of the things that we've done to date to move this chartering process along are the following. Tricia Grow has sent well over 60 individual email invites to club presidents to visit our club. Dawn Nocera, myself, has handed out informational postcards at a District 40 conference with the permission of the district leaders at that time. Rick Weiner and Lori Whitmore invited Toastmasters on their visit to Ireland, and Francisco Palacio informs Toastmasters of our club when he's at various other Toastmasters events and promoting other clubs that has online attendance, giving people an option for joining either this other club that he's promoting or ours. He's a member of both clubs. These are just a few things that I'm aware of that members are doing, and I know that we're all doing our best to invite people. Oh, and I also am remembering that Sandy has invited Angela, and Angela's invited another friend, and Tammy invited. It's a web of invitations, and it works. Email invitation templates and postcard images are available for you to invite other advanced Toastmasters to visit our club. And here's a few challenges that we face moving forward is continuing to invite new guests. I mean, just to stay motivated to keep inviting them. We're all advanced Toastmasters, And we know what we have to do, just staying motivated and excited to help people get here and see how great our club is. Summer attendance has been kind of low, but that's okay. Our meetings always seem to work out well. We're well organized. We have great leaders in the Toastmasters positions, and everyone steps up to volunteer for roles. But the challenges, I think, moving forward are, we do meet at lunchtime, so meeting and finding the people who are available at this time is probably one of our biggest challenges, is getting the word out that we are a club that meets at lunchtime on the East Coast, midnight in China, and somewhere in between, probably our biggest challenge. And at this time, I would like to just open up the floor for some questions. If you have any questions about chartering or anything else that I didn't mention. And yes, so just unmute yourself if you have a question. And Doug, if you could time this portion of the meeting as well.
Hi, Dawn. I have a little bit of a question.
Sure.
Being an online club, we are an undistricted club.
We are.
So how is International supporting the effort of an undistricted club? And as far as the dues are concerned, I understand they having the same dues structure for us. Are they planning on doing anything around that? And is around having the club involved at all in the international convention in that manner?
So I can only share what I have knowledge of, and I can even say that there might be other people here that have more information. Trisha might understand more about what's going on at the international level. I know that we, as an undistricted club, they just made our fees equal. I have no idea what that means for us as a undistricted club, whether or not they're actually going to give, financial support back to us as an undistricted club to have officer training, or what their plan is with that. But there was some decision made, and it took them a little over a year, I think, since they made that decision to actually enforce that. And what was the other part of your question, or did I answer all of it?
You answered. I think the other parts of the question you probably wouldn't have the information for.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome. Are there any other questions? Lori?
Dawn, how many people regularly participate in the club who are not members?
Oh, that's a good question. So Aaron regularly participates in our club, and he is a non-member, but he has also addressed, he has said that he would be willing or interested possibly in joining, but it is midnight for him where he is. So as far as who attends regularly, I think Aaron is the only person at this time who attends regularly who's not a current paid member. And Trisha also, but Trisha, I did put this in my official notes for the meeting. I had it in there, I took it out, and Trisha also has agreed that she will join. So we have kind of a real deficit of, I think, 10 people. So there's actually 10 people who are members, and then Trisha would make that 11. And if Aaron joined, there would be 12, and then we would have a deficit of 8 people before we can actually charter. Good question. Angela.
Do we have a timeline or a deadline since you filed the intent to charter?
Well, I will say that I think that either Rick or Lori, because I know Rick has chartered many, many, many clubs. I don't know that there's an official time limit that Toastmasters International gives you to actually charter. This has been one of the most challenging parts for me and Andrea, who has been here since the beginning. So Andrea helped me through my HPL project, which was so long before we even started the first meeting, is that my intention was to start right away. I just thought everybody in the world would be excited about an online club because I'm so excited about it. I've been dreaming about this for years, it seems. And that fantasy and the reality hasn't quite met up yet. So I would like to say, yeah, next week. And I have said, we're going to charter January 2018. Okay, we're going to charter by March, because there were some other people were wanting to get their DTMs, and they needed to have this under their belt before a certain time. So all of those time limits have passed. Good question. And yes, that is one of the frustrating parts about this process for me personally. Doug.
On that same sort of question then, since we are taking a lot longer than you expected, do we have a game plan for making this happen in a new time frame?
I am open for suggestions on a game plan. There has been a lot of work involved in getting kind of like the website together, getting the structure of making sure that I'm doing the technology thing on our end, and then getting together a team, which we have sort of in place. So I'm very open and happy to hear any suggestions you have and any motivations, because as the more motivated you are about having a deadline, the more easier it's going to be for me as a club.
Right.
Thank you. Lori.
Well, I have some out-of-the-box suggestions.
I love those types of suggestions. They're my favorite.
Certainly meeting every week for those of us who are involved is fun and enjoyable, but I don't believe it's serving the purpose of chartering.
Okay.
I don't have as much experience as Rick, but I feel pretty strongly that if a club just kind of continues along without chartering, it will take longer than imposing something that almost pushes to chartering. So my out-of-the-box suggestion is, I don't know that we're spending enough time on, as much time as we're spending preparing for meetings and running meetings as we are on chartering. If we started to have meetings every other week instead of every week, and on the off week held an hour session that was more like an officers type meeting of what have we done so far, what can we do, and we were brainstorming with each other, that might move the chartering process forward, even though we'll be having fewer Toastmasters meetings.
I love that idea. I just felt a huge, like, the world just kind of aligning with that. So we can definitely put that on the table for other suggestions and other brainstormings. Doug, I see your hand up. Doug?
With regard to Lori's suggestion, I think that given that we take a half hour or 25 minutes of mic check and somewhat social time, I think that we could use some of that time before the meeting to discuss marketing plans as opposed to meeting every other week. I think that would probably be a better use of our time. I'd like to see this club meeting on a weekly basis.
Yeah, my combined thought is I do think that a meeting weekly, as far as a chartered club, like once we charter, I think that has to continue, because that all of the clubs that I know that are very healthy do meet every week. So I think it's a good idea to look at and maybe discuss more of whether or not we want to, in that pre-charter period, maybe look at what Lori's suggesting.
Or have an additional meeting once a month that just focuses on chartering, and do 50 minutes before each meeting, as Doug suggested, for weekly check-ins on the marketing. So that hybrid could work as well.
Yeah, good. That's good. Any other questions before we wrap up? I think my time, I've got a
I think
great
Aaron has a question.
Aaron, go ahead and unmute yourself, Aaron.
President of the Comparative Communicators, which is recently appointed. I was thinking about any possibilities of having a joint meeting with other online clubs so that we can expand the membership.
I can't hear Aaron.
Okay.
What Aaron said, I can repeat that. I think I heard you, is he suggested having a joint meeting with another online club to expand membership. Is that what you were suggesting, Aaron? I can't hear you.
You hear me now? It's better,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I was saying that is that possibility whereby you can have a joint meeting with other online clubs to expand the membership and actually gain people's attention that your club existed in the online world, because that will be one of the criteria or issues that's related with the public relations or publicity.
Well, I find that that's a great suggestion, and there's something kind of unique about our club. We are in the online world, but most of our club members, this is their only online club. So we're not just made up of online, you know, strictly online club members or members who are looking for that. So we'll take that into consideration. And at this time, I'm going to give the timer or the meeting back over to Doug, or no, Rick, our Toastmaster.
Over to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the very timely speech. I think that we all have a lot of interest in the success of this club, and that is your vision. So thank you for bringing that vision out to us, giving us this report of what's happening in this club and in the online world. Aaron, with your more experience with online clubs, I appreciate what you have to say as well. I just think that this is definitely the positive way to make things happen, is to keep us aware and to check in and go to the next step. So thank you so much for your speech, Dawn. This has been, so far for me,